Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's 8:52 on March the 5th. We're going to start a little early this morning. We have 47 cases on the docket. Today, we have Mr. Dean McClure and Mr. Andrew Fordyce, who are our technical examiners. I think maybe Mr. Phil Getz is also going to be in the background on the first case. I've just been told that we have a few dismissals. Those would be case numbers 3, case number 4, case number 7. Let me keep going here. Case number 35, case number 36 is, and of course, case number 40. Did I miss any? No. Okay, good. And if I did, I'm sure you'll tell me along the way. All right. Okay, so we're on the record. This will be an AI generated transcript. I'm going to call the first case. It is 24983 Oxy USA.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner Paula Vance with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart on behalf of the applicant, Oxy USA Inc. And we are back here to go over some supplemental testimony and exhibits.
Good morning, Ms. Vance. Let's get the other entries of appearance.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner, Dina Bennett on behalf of Chevron USA.
Perfect. And what's your position at this time?
Monitoring only.
Monitoring. Perfect. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Vance.
Thank you. So we filed, we got some feedback from the division requesting it's been a long week so far. We got some feedback from the technical examiner requesting that Oxy conduct an audit of the different project areas in this development area for Cedar Canyon, basically going over both of the closed loop gas capture cases or projects that have been approved, and also the EOR enhanced oil recovery cases or orders in the project areas for each of those, and seeing where there are overlaps. And so what we've done, and I see Mr. Janacek, who is our witness today, who provided his statement and put the exhibits together, is basically some slides that go through that audit and show the overlaps, and then provide a proposed solution that basically segregates the project areas to address those concerns of the division.
When did you file your amended exhibit packet?
We filed last Thursday.
Perfect. It's accepted into the record as evidence. Let's get Mr. Janacek sworn in. Please raise your right hand, sir. You swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
That's funny. Yeah, I heard yes, but your lips didn't move. Okay. Would you spell your name, please?
Yes, my name is spelled Stephen. Last name Janacek, Janacek.
Thank you. And I understand the division has previously qualified you as an expert in what field?
Petroleum engineering.
Perfect. Okay, is it Mr. McClure? Freya, do you know if Dean McClure's on?
Not seeing him. I'll send him a message.
Thank you.
While we wait, can I?
Go ahead.
Well, actually, maybe I'll wait until Mr. McClure shows up. But I'll go ahead and tell you. We would ask that the division, this case has been pending for a while, and we would just ask that the division issue an order as soon as possible. There are going to be some new wells in this area coming online soon, and there's based on the gas plant, the outlook for peak production, it looks like there might be some issues of disruption. So having this order in place to be able to utilize it will be really important for Oxy's operations. So.
Okay, logical. Ms. Bennett, do you have anything to say? Okay. Did you object originally?
No.
Oh, okay. Ms. Vance, did anyone object originally?
Not to my knowledge. I
all
don't
right.
believe so.
Okay. When was this case filed? Because it looks pretty old.
I don't know off the top of my head.
That's okay. I just thought I'd ask, just to kill some time. Why don't we, you want to go and recess in this case and we'll come right back?
That's perfectly.
Let's do another case in the meantime while we wait for Mr. McClure. Because I know we can take this next one under advisement, which is the good news for Avant Operating. I'm calling 25748.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner, Dina Bennett on behalf of Avant Operating 2 LLC.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner Yaritza Pena with Hardy McLean on behalf of Permian Resources. We're just
Morning.
monitoring.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner Paula Vance with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart on behalf of MRC Permian Company, and we are just monitoring.
Perfect. And do we have Caitlin Luck? I believe she entered an appearance, didn't she?
She did, but her client reached an agreement with Avant.
Okay, so I think she's here though. Miss Luck? Okay, Miss Bennett, proceed.
Yes, in this case, it was heard on February 5th, and we were coming back for the limited purpose of ensuring that I made the requested change to the compulsory pooling checklist to reflect the fact that certain of the wells were being dismissed from the application, which I did. And I also filed a dismissal requesting that those wells be dismissed, which was granted.
Perfect. And we've reviewed your amended exhibit packet, which is accepted as evidence, and the case is taken under advisement.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, then we have a couple of dismissed cases. I don't see Mr. McClure yet. I guess we took him by surprise by starting early. And let's go to, okay, I think this is the next case we should hear, and that would be Mewbourne Oil 25776 and 25777.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner.
Morning.
Dana Hardy on behalf of Mewbourne. And there are no other parties.
Go right ahead, Miss.
Thank you. We're back to present our amended exhibits that were timely submitted last week. We've addressed the division's concerns, and I would ask that they be accepted and that the cases be taken under advisement.
They are accepted into evidence. I know that there is a question about, and I think Mr. McClure is probably the best one to ask this question. I hope he's okay. I mean, I just spoke to him.
Gregory,
Yes.
I just called my Hobbs office and asked them if they could get Dean's attention, so he should be joining shortly.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
You're welcome.
Ms. Hardy, I think there's a question of why the exhibits were amended the way they were. I know that there was a requested amendment, but it looks like you might have amended them more than the requested, than the request.
So I believe that we updated our notice information.
Yes.
So that's what the other amendments were.
I think once we get Mr. McLean on the screen, I think what he's going to ask you to do, I think he's willing to leave the record open for the rest of the day so that you can basically go back to your original exhibit and just do the one thing that he wanted you to do instead of taking other people off. Is that what you did? You took other people off? I mean, I don't know.
I actually think that we had added parties who received notice
Okay.
that were being pooled.
And there's Mr. McClure there. Mr. McClure, I had called this case Mewbourne Oil. There are two cases, 25776 and 77, and the exhibits have been admitted into the evidence. And I know you had some questions for Ms. Hardy, I think.
Yes, I did, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. Ms. Hardy, it had appeared, let me actually get my case files open here. But it had appeared that maybe additional or a change was made to the commitment table where some additional parties are now being listed as being committed. but it also had appeared that some notice that had originally been submitted in your initial exhibit packet was now removed from your amended exhibit packet. Does any of this kind of ring a bell, I guess, as to what we're looking at?
I don't recall that we removed anyone. I think we added, so we had sent notices out and
Mhm.
they were received after the initial hearing, I believe. And so that's why we added them and then added them to the commitment table, because when the case was continued, and those parties had not signed agreements and they had received notice, they were just added as it was clarified that they were being pooled. That's my recollection.
I'm trying to bring up let me look at because on your current, looking at case 25776, it looks like you provide the notice information for 4 different persons. Does that sound right to you?
Yes.
Okay,
So I
let
think
me,
yeah. I think we determined, so from my recollection, you had asked us to provide notice to Civitas, I believe, because they were an uncommitted party. And so we did that, and that's part of the updated notice information. And then we had also sent a notice to Kerr McGee because it was determined by Mewburn that they needed to be noticed as well. So we went ahead and did that.
yeah, I apologize for the delay. I'm sitting here looking at the case files currently. It may be that I have this first case number messed up, and maybe it's the second one that is the one that looks like originally there was more notice. Because looking at the 25776, we are going to have to talk to the landman. It looks like, I apologize, Mr. Hearing Examiner. It may be the second case that maybe we could provide additional um, notice information for.
Okay, do you want to call your landman?
Sure, Mr. Blanford, Braxton Blanford should be online and available.
Y'all see me?
Yes.
Good morning. Would you raise your right hand? You swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Please spell your name.
Braxton, Braxton, Blanford, Blandford.
And you have been accepted by this division as an expert in what field?
Land.
Perfect. Go right ahead, Mr. McClure.
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Mr. Brackford, I apologize. What is your name again, sir? I apologize.
Blanford.
Branford. Mr. Branford, I'm looking at your commitment table on page 23 of 39. Do you see where I'm looking? I'm looking at a list of persons. Specifically, I'm looking at the Hattigan Petroleum Corporation.
1 second. Yes, sir. I see that.
Okay, and you see over where it says negotiated deal for Hattigan Petroleum Corporation? Looks like Miss
do.
Hardy is. Can you provide us with a little more information regards to what that negotiated deal
We
is
acquired
referring
their
to?
interest.
Okay, so then
Well, hold on, Mr. McClure. The record would not have picked up his answer. Repeat the answer, Mr. Blanford.
Mewburn, acquired, Hannigan Petroleum's interest.
Okay, so then by a negotiated deal, what you mean is that Haddocken Petroleum Corporation no longer owns the interest in the proposed unit. Is that correct?
That's accurate.
Okay, and is it also accurate that Haddocken Petroleum Corporation is not being requested by Mewborn to be force pooled in this case?
That's correct. We are not force pooling Hannigan Petroleum.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. I don't have any further questions for this case, but I will need to look at that no, that second Mewborn case if we also called it. I didn't catch if we did.
Okay, I have a follow-up question for the witness. When did Mewborn acquire Hannigan Petroleum interest?
I don't remember the exact date. I would say somewhere likely in the last month to 6 weeks, but I don't recall the exact date. It was pretty recent.
Okay, so does that mean that does that mean that you would have given them notice at the time you filed this case?
I don't remember if we had given them notice or not, because we were in talks to acquire their interest, but Dana and Jackie may know better whether we um, submitted notice or not. I don't recall.
How long would it take for you to figure out when you acquired their interest?
I can probably look real. Give me 1 second.
And Miss Hardy, do you,
Yes.
he said that you might know something about the notice.
They were not on the notice
Okay.
list, so.
Mr. Examiner, we acquired Hannigan Petroleum's interest at the very beginning of February of this year.
Okay. Mr. McClure, do you have any follow-up?
No, I don't, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
Okay, so can we take 777 under advisement?
Yes, we can take 25777 under advisement.
Perfect. And then you want to talk about 76, is that right?
Oh, actually, I apologize, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
Okay.
776 is the one that I believe we can take under advisement. 777 is the one I need to look at the case file again real fast for.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
And of course, it closed my Adobe on me. And Mr. Hearing Examiner, the only question I would have is for the landman, just to confirm whether his answer to your question is correct for both cases.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Branford, is it correct that Haddocken Petroleum Corporation was acquired by Mewborn at the same time for both of these cases?
Yes, sir.
And you believe that that was in the beginning of this year? Is that what you said to the hearing examiner earlier?
It would have been the beginning of February 2026.
Okay. And your understanding is that this application was actually submitted back to the division back in November of 2025. Is that correct?
I do not recall when the initial exhibits would have been submitted. I have to.
No worries. We have record of that. Thank you, Mr. Brankford. Mr. Hearing Examiner, I have no further questions for either of these cases, and I think we can take them both under advisement.
Perfect. Thank you, Ms. Hardy.
Thank you. Nothing further.
All right, let's go back because we had called the Oxy USA case when you were not online, Mr. McClure. We have accepted the exhibits and we have the petroleum engineer ready for cross-examination.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. And that's Mr. Janacek was ready for?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Mr. Janacek. Let's go ahead and take each of these underlying EOR projects point by point, see where we're looking at on that. Let me go ahead and get my case file opened up here. Mr. Janacek, are you familiar with the EOR project that was approved under order R21383? This is in section 15 of Township 24 South, Range 29 East.
Yes, I'm generally aware of that one.
Okay, is it accurate? It would be adequate to say that Oxy now wishes to withdraw that area from the proposed project area for the closed loop gas capture case we're hearing today?
I'm sorry, could you rephrase the question?
Yes, sir. Mr. Janacek, is it accurate that Oxy now wishes to withdraw the section 15, excluding possibly the north half of the north half from the project area in the proposed unit today?
That is correct. For the proposed case that we're talking about today, that is what we're proposing to do.
And any proposed closed loop gas capture wells within that section 15 is also being asked by Oxy to be withdrawn?
Yes, I don't believe we have any wells within section 15 associated with this CLGC project, but that logic would follow.
Okay. Looking at section 16, the
Can I-
EOR.
Mr. McClure, can you
Ms.
repeat?
Vance, I'm sorry.
Would you mind doing me a favor? Can you repeat that order number that you mentioned at the start?
Yeah, for the I guess it's what you got highlighted in that box on number 2 of what you're sharing. I have it wrote as R-21383. You just have a case number there though, but I'm assuming that's the appropriate case number that you have listed there.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm. Thank you.
Mr. Janacek, moving on to, I guess what Ms. Vance is sharing, that number 1 box sitting there. This would be an EOR project approved under order R-21832. Are you familiar with that project?
Yes.
Is it accurate to say that Oxy is now asking to withdraw that area from the proposed project area here, including any wells included therein?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Now moving focus to, I guess, the box that you have identified as 4 is what I'm interested in. This would be your open case 22183, where Oxy is asking to expand a EOR project that was approved. Well, I guess I don't have the hearing order listed for there on my side. But are you familiar with the project I'm referring to, I guess?
Yes.
Okay. Is it accurate to say that let me start again. Would Oxy prefer this area, the entire area within that box 4, to be included in the EOR project associated with case 22183? Or your box 4 there?
Yes.
And I apologize, it's accurate that Oxy would prefer that to be part of the EOR project and not part of the closed loop gas capture project.
That's correct.
Is Oxy asking to withdraw the entirety of what's in the box 4, including any wells included therein?
Say that again.
Is Oxy asking to withdraw the entirety of box 4 from the project area in the case today?
No.
So how would Oxy propose to move forward to include it in the order today, in the area today, but yet it's still asking to include it in the other EOR project?
Since the other EOR project is still pending an order and has been pending an order since 2021, we figured that whenever the division was close to issuing an order, we could discuss how to address the project area for case 22183 and the overlap with the gas storage projects.
Now, how would you go about that without bringing it back to hearing and reopening that case?
We would take it back to hearing and reopen the case.
Okay, moving on to your box, your number 5 box there towards the sub and in there. This was an EOR project that had been approved under order R21357. Are you familiar with that project?
Yes.
And Mr. Janacek, it seems that Oxy is stating that that project has now been terminated. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Are you familiar with the ordering paragraphs included in that associated order R-21357?
No, I have not pulled those up recently.
Would it surprise you to find out that there's a requirement that Oxy provide a written statement to the division upon termination of the project?
Yes, that would surprise me, but that's something that Oxy can definitely take care of.
Let me actually bring it up here so I'm citing exactly what we're looking at. Waiting on my little circles to go in my browser, waiting on the internet apparently. And it's still not loading. Well, I think we should be able to move on, regardless. Are you familiar with, I don't think you have it highlighted in the page that Ms. Vance is sharing. Can you move down one page, Ms. Vance, please? Yeah, there we go. Mr. Janicek, are you familiar with the boxes that you have identified as number 6 there that involves a closed loop gas capture project that had been approved under order R22206?
Yes.
What is the reason? Well, let me backtrack. What is the current status of order R22206?
As of 2024, Oxy had requested an extension of the order.
Okay, and that extension's not been approved yet. Is that correct, Mr. Janicek?
That's correct.
Why is it that Oxy, let me back up a little bit. Is it accurate to say that as Oxy submitted its application here, it's proposing to have the R22206 ER project, or excuse me, temporary storage project contained within the project area being proposed in the case today?
We initially discussed that, but we did not propose that today because we did not want to complicate things by combining two orders.
Is it accurate to say that the source of gas associated with order R22206 is the same as the proposed project today?
Yes.
If I were to tell you that the division will likely deny the extension request and allow the order R22206 to terminate of its own accord, would Oxy wish to bring those 3 wells into this proposed project?
Absolutely. We would probably prefer that to simplify things.
And would Oxy prefer that the division issue an order excluding those 3 wells for this proposed project, making it necessary for Oxy to amend that order to include the 3 wells? Or diversely, would Oxy rather continue this case and conduct new notice and bring in the 3 wells right now?
We want to, the preferential path is to get the case we're discussing today approved with an injection order because we have some new production coming online next week. So whatever path the division thinks is the shortest to issue an injection order for this project, Oxy we would favor that path, and then we could discuss an amendment at a later date to add the 3 wells.
Okay, now let me preface that and ask you the question again, I guess. With consideration that this case will end up needing to be continued anyway to give Oxy an opportunity to, at the in addition to possibly other things, but at the least submit the required termination notice for that R-21357. With that in mind, does that change Oxy's thought process here?
No, I would like to look at that order and the termination language if you have it, please.
Is that something that you could share with Mr. Janacek, Ms. Vance?
Yes, I don't have that order up. I'm not sure if you do, and I can stop sharing my screen. That way, if I don't know if you mind sharing it so we can take a look at it. I'm happy to do that. Otherwise, I would have to pull the order.
Okay, I should be able to, I mean, I'm assuming I'm able to share, I guess. And make sure I have it brought up. I know my internet had been running a little bit slow, but it looks like I have it up here. Yeah, let me see about sharing. Mr. Janacek, can you see my screen here?
Yes, if you could zoom in a little, that'd be a little bit more.
Yes,
Great,
sir.
thank you.
I'm looking at ordering paragraph 18 of order R-21357. And my question in regards, well, I'll give you a chance to read it. Go ahead, Mr. Janacek.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I've read it, thank you.
And Mr. Janacek, do you understand what the requirement is associated with this ordering paragraph?
Yes,
Okay.
I think I was mainly, I think I might have used the wrong verbiage whenever I said terminated. I was referring to that ordering paragraph 17 above it, where our authority had been lost due to 2 years of non-injection. So there weren't any operations to update the OCD about termination, if that makes sense.
With it in mind that this case will need to be continued until that written notice referenced in paragraph 18 is met, does that change Oxy's preference in regards to the 3 wells and project area included in R-22206, that being the other closed loop gas capture case?
I'm sorry, I don't think I can answer that question yet. Could you go back and pull up that ordering paragraph 17?
I don't know if that's relevant, Mr. Janacek. I was only sharing to see if you understood the question I'm asking you. But that's fine. If Oxy doesn't have a preference, it's perfectly fine in regards to that.
I'm sorry, could you rephrase the question again?
Okay.
If we're not gonna go back.
Hold on, there wasn't a question, Mr. Janacek. It was just a statement. So can you go on, Mr. McClure?
Yes, I can, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Mr. Hearing Examiner, may we take a few minutes for me to touch base with one of our other technical examiners here? I apologize, Mr. Hearing Examiner. I'm finished with asking questions to Mr. Janacek. I believe, unless something else becomes relevant.
Okay.
In my discussion with.
Can I
I
add?
was going to say, let's go in recess on this so that Mr. McClure can have a discussion with, I think, Mr. Getz and see how he wants to proceed. So, okay, we're in recess on this case, Mr. McClure. We're going to go on to some cases that I know we can take under advisement and we can move along here. I'm going to call 25793 Permian Resources.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Yaritza Pena. We actually filed a notice of dismissal for this case yesterday afternoon. This is the Colonel Freckles case.
You're right.
Thank you.
Thank you. So there we are. That was a quick one. All right, let's move. We're off the record on that case. Let's go on to Coterra Energy 25806, 25805.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner, Dina Bennett on behalf of Coterra Energy Operating.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner Paula Vance with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart on behalf of MRC Hat Mesa LLC, and we are just monitoring.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner. Jordan Kessler on behalf of EOG Resources, also monitoring this case.
Thank you, Ms. Kessler. There was a Randy Cohn.
Yes, Mr. Examiner, he entered an appearance and has since withdrawn his objection, and he's entered into an agreement with Coterra.
Okay, so did you submit what the division wanted?
I did.
Great. Then we accept it into the record and it's taken under advisement
In both cases?
In both cases.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Appreciate it.
very much. Yes, you're welcome. Let's move on to Matador Production. It looks like we have here 5 cases, 25821, 22, 23, 24, and 25.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Rayleigh Starnes with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart on behalf of MRC Permian Company. I don't think there were any other
You're right.
appearances. We actually continued these cases from the February docket to perfect notice on a number of parties and are here today with these 5 consolidated cases seeking orders pooling all of the uncommitted interests in the Bone Spring Formation for cases 258, 21, 22, and 23, and the Wolfcamp Formation for 24 and 25. In support of our applications, we filed our revised hearing packets with all of the usual exhibits, compulsory pooling application checklist, one of which was revised pursuant to notice from division, application, self-affirmed statement of our landman Isaac Evans, self-affirmed statement of geologist Anna Thorson, self-affirmed statement of notice, which will reflect that notice was timely sent first on December 19th of 2025, and then again on February 13th of 2026. Those notices of publication. And for 25822, MRC is also seeking approval of an overlapping spacing unit. So that hearing packet contains a sample copy of our overlapping notice. And that same case is also a non-standard location, which we'll be filing for separately. If there are no questions, we would ask these exhibits be admitted into the record and these cases taken under advisement.
There are no questions. The exhibits are admitted into the record. The cases are taken under advisement. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Let's move on to Marathon Oil. This is 25877.
Mr. Examiner, Dana Hardy with Hardy McLean on behalf of Marathon,
Thank you.
and there are no other parties.
Go right ahead.
We are back to submit additional exhibits that we timely filed last week. We had changed the primary product to gas on the checklist as Mr. McClure requested. We provided an updated plat of tracks and the ownership information to show who is being pooled or to clarify that information, and also provided updated notice information. So with that, I would ask that the exhibits be admitted and that the case be taken under advisement.
They are admitted. It's taken under advisement. Thank you. Moving on to other cases of yours, Ms. Hardy or Ms. McLean. These are Permian Resource 25904.
Yes, Jackie McLean on behalf of Permian Resources.
Thank you.
And there are no other parties, and this was also an amended exhibit packet.
We
there-
accept,
Okay.
we accept the amended exhibit packet into evidence. We take the case under advisement.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ms. McLean. We're going to move on to Mewbourne Oil 25909.
Mr. Examiner, Dana Hardy with Hardy McLean on behalf of Mewbourne. There are no other parties, and this was another case where we are back with admitted exhibits that were timely submitted last week. I would ask that they be accepted and that the case be taken under advisement.
Perfect. They're accepted and it's taken under advisement.
Thank you.
Moving on to a Holland and Hart case, Hillcorp Energy 25938. But I think there are other Hillcorp cases too. Since they're all going to be taken under advisement, why don't I call them all at the same time?
That works for me.
Excellent. So I called 25938. I'm also calling 42, 43, 259, 50, and 52.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner, Technical Examiner Paula Vance with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart on behalf of the applicant, Hillcorp Energy company. And these are all well density requests for exception. I won't go through the details since it sounds like the technical examiner has already reviewed them. In the first 3 cases, though, I will say we have different technical folks involved. So in those cases, we have the statement and exhibits from Landman Gatewood Brown, who has previously testified before the division, and his credentials have been accepted as a matter of record. And then also on the reservoir engineering side, we have Marcus Hill, who has also previously testified, and his credentials have been accepted as a matter of record. We also included my self-affirmed statement of notice. Everything was timely, including the notice of publication. With that, I would ask that that set be taken under advisement, that the exhibits be admitted into the record and the cases be taken under advisement. Happy to move on to the other 2, if you're ready.
I'm ready to take all 5 under advisement.
Okay,
So
I just
why don't we
wasn't,
just say that your exhibits are admitted in all 5 cases and
Sure.
all 5 cases are taken under advisement?
great. That sounds perfect.
Next. So we're
Sorry.
moving along
I
now.
missed the assignment.
Okay. Mr. Okay, so Mr. McClure must be still discussing. So let's move on. I'm wondering what happened. Okay, no, we have that case. Okay. So I think we're now going to begin with the cases where Mr. Fordyce is the technical examiner, and we'll begin with Coterra Energy 25955. Entries, please.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner. Dina Bennett on behalf of Coterra Energy Operating.
And there's no other parties.
No other parties.
Go right ahead.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, there's a hand up for a Miss Reeves, I think. Did I see that right?
I apologize. It was on accident.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Okay, go right ahead, Ms. Bennett.
Thank you. In this case, Coterra Energy Operating seeks an order pooling uncommitted interests in a Bone Spring spacing unit that's approximately 649 acres in the west half of irregular Section 4 and the west half of Section 9, Township 19 South, Range 34 East, Lee County, New Mexico. And we've submitted the usual suite of exhibits, including land exhibits from Ashley St. Pierre, who's previously testified before the division, and her credentials have been accepted as a matter of record. And geology exhibits from Stacy Fry, who's also previously testified before the division, and her credentials have been accepted as a matter of record. And we've also included my self-affirmed notice of declaration of notice, which shows that notice was timely mailed and timely published. And in this case, Coterra is seeking approval of a non-standard unit, and we've included as Exhibit A9 the plat showing the non-standard unit offsetting tracks, as well as the notice parties for the offsetting units. So with that, I would ask that the exhibits in case number 25955 be admitted into the record and the case be taken under advisement.
They are admitted without exception. Let's get your, Mr. Fordyce, who do you want to question?
The landman.
Perfect. Is it Miss St. Pierre?
Yes, it
I
is.
thought it was. Miss St. Pierre, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Excellent.
Would you turn on your camera? And would you, perfect. And would you raise your right hand, please? You swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. And I know I recognize you, so your credentials are obvious. Go right ahead, Mr. Fordyce.
Ms. St. Pierre, I have a question, if I could direct your attention to Exhibit A4. That should be on page 25 of the exhibits.
Yes.
Could you provide a summary of the spacing unit and its interest as a whole and not broken out by track? So just describing the whole spacing unit in a summary rather than by specific tracks. And in that exhibit, point out the parties that are being pooled, typically highlighted in yellow.
Yes. Okay. Are you talking on page 25 of 66?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you could just summarize the unit, instead of having it broken out by tract where, you know, interest might be listed multiple times, just compile a summary.
Yes,
uh,
okay.
For this case in this exhibit.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Could you provide that by the end of the day?
Yes.
If we could get an amended exhibit, I believe we could take this case under advisement if that could be provided by the close of business today.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very
Ms.
much. I
Bennett?
didn't have any other question.
Yes.
Mr. Fordyce, Ms. Bennett, can that be
Thank you.
done?
Yes, I would just point out though to Exhibit A5, which may have the very information that Mr. Fordyce is seeking. On Exhibit A5, that is the entire pooled party list. So we did not highlight them on Exhibit A4 because we prepared a separate exhibit that identifies every party that's being pooled. And also on Exhibit A5, we broke out the unit working interest by parties who are being pooled, which is the aggregate in the unit, which is what I understand Mr. Fordyce is asking for. So I'm happy to submit a revised exhibit packet today, but I also just wanted to point that out in case that does address Mr. Fordyce's questions.
Let's see.
Ms. Bennett, are all of the interest in the unit listed in Exhibit A5?
Only the interest being pooled.
Then I still would like to see a summary of the unit that's a standard exhibit whereby all of the interest in the unit are summarized as a unit and, you know, somehow highlighted or otherwise denoted the parties being pooled.
Thank you.
Thank you. So is that something that Ms. St. Pierre will help you with?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
And-
Ms. St. Pierre, is that something you can get to Ms. Bennett today?
Yes.
Excellent. And you can do a amended packet with a cover letter?
Yes, I can.
Great. Then we'll leave the record open till the rest of the day for you to submit that since we don't need further review of that.
Thank you very much.
We're off the record in that case. Let's go back to the Oxy case. I believe Mr. McClure has some direction for Ms. Vance.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Ms. Vance, we're going to need to continue this case, and Oxy's going to need to submit that termination notice to the case file for R-21357.
Well, I would request, because we can get that filed today. Since it, going off of the feedback that we have gotten from the division, that they understand that this is a high priority for Oxy, that this has been pushed out a number of times. And that, the division is working on trying to turn around these types of orders more quickly. And also I said this for the benefit of the hearing examiner, but you weren't on yet, but Oxy does have new wells for the Cedar Canyon development coming online. And there are some projections that suggest there might be some limitations to takeaway during peak production. So I would request that we have today to be able to file by 5 p.m. That the written notice that you're looking for. I'm working on getting, and I actually just sent you and the hearing examiner an email letting you know that we are working on that. But we will get it filed as soon as possible and would just request that rather than continue it, we get that filed because it sounds like that's the outstanding item at this point. And that this case, not be continued, but be taken under advisement. And also asking that we are able to get an expedited order as soon as possible.
Now, Ms. Vance, within the new amended exhibits, is there a clean list of all the wells and the newly proposed project area included there?
Yes, I believe.
Can you draw
it
my
is.
attention to it?
Yes, if you can hang on 1 second, and I will ask the Mr. Janacek if he can come back up. That way he can walk through the exhibit if you have any questions about it. But yes, there should be. Give me 1 second. Find my teams. Don't hang up. There we go. And it should be. There we go.
And which exhibit are we looking at?
It's all the same exhibit, but this is slide, I believe, should be slide 6.
Of what exhibit?
Supplemental exhibit I.
Thank you.
And Ms. Vance, I can also ask this to Mr. Janacek, but do you know if there's a list of the wells being proposed now with all the wells excluded out of it? Mr. Janacek, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir. Mr. Herring-Examiner, you don't have any, am I fine to ask Mr. Janacek additional questions?
Of course, he's still under oath.
Thank you, Mr. Herring-Examiner. Mr. Janacek, is there included anywhere in the exhibit packet a list of all the current wells that Oxy is asking to be included?
No, we do not have an updated list because the only change was removing the Cedar Canyon 23 4H from the list of wells.
Is with Chevron's, I believe it was Chevron's original objection, and those 2 wells removed there, is that also included in your consideration for having a fresh list of wells?
I can't recall the Chevron objection.
Okay, I guess if I were to ask Oxy to provide me with a list of all the wells it's currently asking the division for injection authority for, do you understand what I'm asking for?
Yes, we can provide you a list of wells.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Janacek. Ms. Vance, if we could also provide either an amended exhibit or another supplemental exhibit that provides an updated list of all injection wells that Oxy is asking to include in this proposed project at this point.
Yes, we will get that done today.
Mr. Hearing Examiner, the division's wondering if we can have a continuance for at least 2 weeks for us to review the submissions done today.
Okay, I mean, it's up to you how much time you want to review. We have several dockets coming up that we might expedite this case on. Obviously, the one on the 10th is too soon. We have another one on the 12th. I believe we have a status conference docket on the 19th. That's about 2 weeks from now. Freya, could we add this, or could Ms. Vance continue this case to that docket?
That's fine. We also have a contested hearing on March 24th.
I think the 19th, I'd rather do it as soon as possible, but Mr. McClure would like 2 weeks, and 14 and 5 is 19. So that could work for me. Mr. McClure, does that work for you, the 19th?
The status conference on the 19th will be fine for us.
All right. I mean, I know you don't normally appear on that docket, but
No.
we're trying to expedite this for Ms. Vance. So Ms. Vance, you know what the division wants. Would you please continue your case to the 19th? We'll try to move it along as quickly as we can.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. Okay, we're off the record in 24983. And Mr. McClure, we're done with your cases. Thank you for your participation. All right, let's go back to Mr. Fordyce's cases. And I think we have a bunch of these that we can move through quickly, which I'd like to do. So I'm going to call them a little out of order. And this is everyone's signal that, let's keep this quick because we're going to take them under advisement. Let's go with number 24 and 25 on our, well, it looks like we have a bunch of Matador cases. I'm going to read them off. 25701, 02, 03, 04, 05, 06.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner, Rayleigh Starnes with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart. on behalf of Matador Production Company, and there are no other appearances.
Perfect.
These are 6 consolidated cases seeking to reopen and amend previously issued orders to add 1 record title owner only.
Okay.
We filed all the exhibits, and if there are no questions, I ask they be taken under advisement.
Perfect. That's excellent. Okay. Yes, we accept all of your exhibits without exception into the record, and we take all of your cases under advisement.
Thank you.
That's those. Right. Now, I'm going to skip over the Admiral Permian. I'm going to go to Permian Resources, 25769 and 70.
Jackie McLean on behalf of Permian Resources.
Thank you.
Paula Vance with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart on behalf of Mewburn Oil Company, and we're just monitoring.
Perfect. Ms. McLean?
Yes, and it sounds like these can be admitted into the record, which I would ask that they be done and the cases
Granted.
be taken under advisement.
Granted, both granted. So thank you very much, Ms. McLean.
Thank you.
All right. So let's move on to another Hardy McLean case. This is Marathon Oil Permian 25889.
Mr. Examiner Dana Hardy on behalf of Marathon.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner Jordan Kessler on behalf of EOG Resources, monitoring only.
Thank you, Ms. Kessler. And we have Gallagher and Kennedy.
They had entered an appearance for Oxy. That's correct.
Have you had any communication with them?
Not since they filed their entry of appearance.
Was there an objection with the entry of appearance?
No,
Okay, then go right ahead.
thank you. It sounds like these exhibits are agreeable to the division, so I would ask that they be accepted and that the case be taken under advisement.
Perfect. Granted in both occurrences. So
Thank you.
that case, we're off the record. Now let's go on to yet another one that looks good. We have 25891 Spur Energies.
Mr. Examiner Dana Hardy on behalf of Spur.
Okay, thank you.
And there are no other parties. And if the division has no questions, I would ask that the exhibits be admitted and that the case be taken under advisement.
Perfect. They are admitted and it's taken under advisement. Thank you. Let me see here if we're going to let's skip a few more here. Let's go down to Coterra Energy, 25918 and 19. Mr. Holliday?
Good morning, everyone. Mr. Examiner, Ben Holliday on behalf of the applicant.
Go right ahead, Mr. Holliday.
Yes, sir. So these are 2 amendment requests. Coterra is seeking an order amending pulling orders number R2375 and R23749 for 1 year. We've got the standard suite of exhibits associated with this, and Mr. Morgan with the land expert, or excuse me, the land witness for Coterra is ready to testify if we have any questions.
I don't believe there are any questions, Mr. Holliday. So we admit your exhibits into evidence and we take your 2 cases under advisement.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Now I want to go back to 2 cases, which I'm not sure if I was told these will be dismissed or not. This is a Holland and Hart cases, the blue chip cases. Are these the ones that are being dismissed? They are. Okay, great. So we don't have to call, we're not going to call those 2 cases. Let's go on to one more case. This is EOG Resources 25965.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner Dina Bennett on behalf of EOG Resources.
Thank you. And Gallagher Kennedy again?
Yes, they did enter an appearance, but they did not object.
They did not. Go right ahead.
Thank you. If the division does not have any question about the exhibits in these cases, EOG would respectfully ask that the exhibits be admitted and the case be taken under advisement.
Thank you very much. They are taken into evidence and it is taken under advisement. So that case is over with. All right. Now let's go back to a little bit more tricky ones. So when I call these, you know, we're going to need to question your witnesses, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. All right. I want to make a note here. Ms. Bennett, before I forget, your Coterra Energy case 25955, that exhibit A4, you're still submitting something by the end of the day. Is that right?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. All right. The record will remain open in that case. All right. We're done with that case. So now we're going to go to the first one that's a little troublesome. This is Admiral Permian 25708.
I don't like it.
Has nothing to do with my liking it or not.
I don't like the troublesome characterization, but here I am,
Yeah, there
Jackie
you are.
McLean on behalf of Admiral Permian.
Good morning, Mr. Hearing Examiner Paula Vance with the Santa Fe office of Holland and Hart on behalf of MRC Permian Company, and we are just monitoring.
Here's Ms.
Good morning,
Hatley.
Mr. Examiner. Carrie Hatley entering her appearance on behalf of ConocoPhillips, and we are just monitoring.
Wonderful. Thank you both. Ms. McLean.
Yes, thank you. In this case, Admiral seeks an order pulling all uncommitted interest in the Bone Spring Formation, underlying a 320 acre, more or less non-standard spacing unit in the east half of Section 18, Township 23 South, Range 28 East in Eddy County. And we will dedicate this unit to the Crosco Estates fee unit wells. Exhibits were timely submitted and include the land testimony and corresponding exhibits of Hunter Hall, who has previously testified before the division and has been recognized as an expert in petroleum land matters. Then we also have geology testimony and corresponding exhibits from William Carroll, who has not previously testified before the division. So if we have questions for him, we would like to move him to be admitted as an expert in petroleum geology matters. Finally, we have notice testimony with copies of the notice letter. This case has been sitting here for some time as it was originally objected to and was going to be contested. So notice was sent on October 22nd, 2025. And we have an affidavit of publication from October 30th, 2025. I know there are questions, so we are happy to answer those.
Perfect. The exhibits are admitted into evidence. And Mr. Fordyce, which witnesses do you have questions for?
I have questions for the landman.
Landman, who has already been admitted. So let's get the landman sworn in.
Mr. Hunter Hall.
I'm here.
Excellent. Mr. Hall, would you please raise your right hand? You swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you. Please lower your hand and spell your name.
Hunter Hall, Hunter space Hall.
Okay, and Ms. McLean has told me that you've been previously admitted as an expert before this division.
I have.
In what field?
Petroleum land matters.
Go right ahead, Mr. Fordyce.
Mr. Hall, if I could direct your attention to your statement. It's on page 7 of the exhibits.
Okay, I'm there.
I'll bring it up.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Thank you. So in the statement, basically, we could summarize it by saying that you want Admiral Permian wants to seek the non-standard spacing unit for consolidation of surface facilities. Is that correct?
Correct.
So the unit that's proposed is standard, and you're seeking a non-standard spacing unit. And I'm trying to understand why you think that you need one, if you could help me understand that.
Sure. I think the way that we originally looked at the unit was if there were part of it was probably some if there was maybe a little bit of lack of clarity around how the U-turn wells would be factored in. And so if you interpret them as single mile wells on each side of the 160 acres they're deviating, you could say 160 acres would be dedicated to each. And so we were just a little bit unclear, but the intent around the NSL is a shared facility, and that facility will also be shared with the case that was heard last week for the Wolf Camp, just in a different zone. So we just wanted to make sure that we were covering our bases.
And you're aware that these lands are on fee surface and minerals, correct?
We are.
Okay. If Admiral Permian would, since it's not needed, drop their request for the non-standard unit and resubmit the compulsory pooling application to reflect that, I think we could move on with this case.
Dana, Jackie, do you agree?
Give me 1 second. I'm trying
Okay.
to pull this up. If I recall, I believe that we had, and I'm just trying to go to the place in the, we had requested the non-standard spacing because there is, hold on.
You want to just take 5 minutes?
Yes,
That way
let me
you can
just look
Look
at
through
the,
this. You can talk to your witness
Yes.
offline. We can all go to the bathroom. Okay, so we're off the record for 5 minutes. Thank you. It is, what time is it? 10:09, Thursday, March 5th. We're back on the record. Ms. McLean.
Yes, thank you. After reviewing the exhibits, we had initially submitted this case requesting a non-standard proration unit because there was no lateral within 330 feet of that center line separating the east half from the west half. But if the division feels differently and this is a standard spacing unit, we are happy to just amend the checklist to take off that request for non-standard proration unit and submit it as a request for a standard spacing unit, and then we can move forward with the case.
Mr. Fordyce?
Yes, and I'll just add to double check. I also conferred with other divisions staff to make sure that I wasn't overlooking something. This is a standard spacing unit. If you want to go ahead and drop the request for the NSP and submit an amended CPAC, we can take this case under advisement.
Okay, we will do that by the end of the day.
Perfect. All right. We'll leave the record open until the end of the day, but we will take it under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that case is over. Let's move on to Longfellow Energy, 25911.
Sharon Shaheen on behalf of Longfellow Energy.
Good morning, Ms. Shaheen. There are no other parties. Go right ahead.
Thank you. Let me just pull my notes up real quick. In this case, Longfellow holds 100% of the working interest in the proposed spacing unit and therefore seeks to pool only the overrides in the Yeso Formation underlying the north half of Section 31, Township 16 South, Range 31 East. They propose to drill 8 wells, the Petty 31AB wells. We've provided you with the usual exhibits, A and B, and related sub-exhibits that have been submitted by the landman and geologist, both of whom have previously been qualified as expert witnesses before the division. My notice statement is also included as Exhibit C with the usual sub-exhibits. Notice was timely mailed on February 12th and published on February 17th. With that, I ask that Exhibits A, B, and C, the related sub-exhibits, be admitted into the record and that this case be taken under advisement. Of course, we are happy to answer any questions. Mr. Gaston and Mr. DeHammer are both available.
Perfect. Thank you, Ms. Shaheen. Admitted without exception. And Mr. Fordyce, do you have questions for this case?
Yes, I just have one question for the landman.
Okay, let's get the landman on.
All right.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Gaston. I recognize you. Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, it's the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Would you spell your name, please?
Yes, it's Stuart, Stuart, Gaston, Gaston.
And you've previously been admitted as an expert by this division?
Yes, sir, in petroleum land management.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Fordyce.
Mr. Gaston, if I could just direct your attention to page 38, which is the beginning of the well proposals included in these exhibits.
Yes.
So these well proposals are for Van Halen FedCom 33 AB wells. And this application is for Petty Federal Com 31 AB wells. I'm just curious why these well proposals were submitted in these for these exhibits.
If I may, Mr. Examiner, I believe that is on me. We accidentally included the wrong well proposals, and I'm happy to submit a revised exhibit package today.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Shaheen. Now, would the witness answer the question, please?
Yes, it looks like that they are included by mistake and will be corrected and resubmitted today.
Okay, I have no further questions for the landman. I do, however, have two minor corrections for the compulsory pooling application checklist on page 4. Since we're going to be making some corrections, if we could correct the spacing unit size to the right number of acres, which is not 320. In this case, it would be 301.73 acres. And then a little further down in proximity tracks, it says yes, the north half of the south half of section 31. And I believe that should read the north half of the north half rather than south half. So it should be north half of section 31, I believe.
Thank you. Yes, again, these are my mistakes.
Okay.
And I have,
Ms. Shaheen, how long will it take for you to correct what Mr. Fordyce wants?
We can have that to you before the end of the day.
All right, Mr. Fordyce, does that work for you?
that works for me.
All right, very good. So, Ms. Shaheen, we'll take this case under advisement once you submit the proper documents, as long as the documents are submitted with a cover page by 5 p.m. today.
Will do. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. We're off the record in that case. The next case that we're going to hear is the 3 XTO Energy cases. These are 25944, 45, 46.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner. Miguel Suazo with Beatty and Wozniak appear on behalf of XTO Energy, and there are no other parties in these cases.
Good morning, Mr. Suazo.
Okay. Well, I'll start with the first one, which is the Rose. In this case, 25944, XTO seeking a 768 acre, more or less, standard horizontal spacing unit comprised of the east half of sections 19, 30, and 31, Township 26 South, Range 30 East, Eddy County, New Mexico, covering the Rose 19 FedCom 203H and 217H, which are going to produce from the Wolf Camp and the Bone Spring. The exhibit packet was filed on January 27th of this year. Exhibit A is the compulsory pooling checklist. B is the application and proposed notice of hearing filed on January 27th. Exhibit C is the affidavit of Commercial and Land Advisor Chad Smith, who has testified before the division, and his qualifications have been accepted and made a matter of record. And those also include his sub-exhibits. Exhibit D is the affidavit of geologist Matt Kearney, who has also testified before the provision, as well as his sub-exhibits D1 through D5. And finally, Exhibit E is the notice affidavit showing the notice letters were mailed on February 10th, 2026 to the addresses of record of the interested parties, and proof of publication was made in the Carlsbad Current Argus on February 14th. And with that, I'd like to ask that these exhibits be admitted into the record and these matters taken under advisement, and the witnesses are available for any questions if the division has any.
Thank you, Mr. Suazo. Admitted without exception. Mr. Fordyce, do you want to handle these one at a time, or do you want to do these all at the same time?
25, Mr. Hearing Examiner, 25944 and 946 are Bone Springs cases that I would have similar questions for if we want to address those first, and then move to the third one, 25945.
Very good. So, Mr. Suazo, you just presented 44, is that correct?
Correct.
Why don't you briefly present 46?
Sure. Let me get that. All right, in 25946, XTO seeking a 769 acre, more or less, horizontal spacing unit in the east half of sections 20, 29, and 32 in Eddy County, covering the Sophia 20 FedCom 306H and 308H. We have the standard suite of exhibits A through D. The witnesses in this case are the same as the last one. Chad Smith, who has previously testified, and Matt Kearney, who has also testified. Exhibit E is the affidavit showing that notice was mailed on February 10th, and proof of publication was made in the Carlsbad Current Argus. And with that, I'd like to request that the exhibits in this case be taken under advisement so that Mr. Fortas can ask his questions.
Admitted without exception. Okay, Mr. Fordyce, which witnesses do you want to question?
I have questions for the landman.
Only. Okay. Mr. Suazo, call your landman.
Sure. It's Chad Smith.
How's it going? Sorry. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
All right, you can put your hand down. Please spell your name.
CHADSMITH.
Okay. And have you been previously qualified as an expert by this division?
Yes.
In what field?
Oil and land management.
Okay. All right. Now, are you in the car?
Yes, I'm actually on vacation right now, and I'm just coming back to the airport, and I had to take this call in the car.
Right. No, I see that. So I'm wondering what's going to happen if you are directed to testify about an exhibit, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Mr. Fordyce, go right ahead.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Smith. I was just going to start with this proposed unit for the 2 rows FedCom wells in this first case, in Sophia 20 FedCom 2 wells again in the other case we're going to discuss. The unit requires an NSP. So I was wondering why an NSP was not requested in this application.
The NSP was going to be requested after we got the official APIs and the wells have been approved by the OCD.
So you were going to basically try to get this pooling order and then apply for the NSP administratively.
We were trying to get the APDs approved by the NMOCD. Then we were going to apply for the NSP.
Okay. I don't have any questions, any further questions on these 2 cases. Then I do have a correction for the compulsory application checklist for Mr. Suazo.
Go right ahead.
Okay. If you look on page 3.
Which case are you referring to? Or is this for both of them?
It would be for both.
Okay.
Okay, so in the other situations section for proximity tracks, it says no. But it gives a proximity defining well. It lists a well, rows 19 FedCom 203H. And that actually is not a proximity defining well. So if we could just get that portion removed, or, the response is no there, or NA, I guess, either one.
Okay. No, we can certainly get that taken care of in short order.
Okay, I have no further questions on these 2 cases.
So, Mr. Fordyce, depending on how quickly Mr. Suazo can do what you asked him to do, how do you want to proceed with those 2 cases?
We could take them under advisement if the amended exhibits could be submitted by the end of the day.
We can make that happen.
Yes, Mr. Suazo, you can?
Yes, sir.
All right. Then as long as you do that, these 2 cases will be taken under advisement. If for some reason you can't, let us know, and we'll continue them, or you'll continue them to another docket in March. Okay, let's now go on to 25945.
Sure. In this case, XDO is seeking a 769 acre, more or less standard horizontal spacing unit in the east half of sections 20, 29, and 32, Township 26 South, Range 30 East in Eddy County. This is going to be comprised of the Sophia 20 Fedcom 300H, 302H, 303H, 304H, 307H, and the Sophia 20-2932 Fed Statecom 305H, which will produce from the Purple Sage Wolf Camp. The exhibit packet was filed on February 26. Exhibit A is the compulsory pooling checklist. B is the application and proposed notice of hearing. Exhibit C is the affidavit of Land Advisor Chad Smith and his sub-exhibits. Exhibit D is the affidavit of geologist Matt Kearney. Both of them have testified before the division before. And Exhibit E is the notice affidavit showing that letters were mailed on February 10th to the addressees of record, and proof of publication was made in the Carlsbad Current Argus on February 14th. And with that, I'd like to request that these exhibits be admitted into the record and the witnesses are available for any questions.
Admitted without exception. Mr. Fordyce, who do you have questions for?
I have questions for the geologist.
And Mr. Suazo, you're a geologist?
Yes, that's Matt Kearney.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Kearney. Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please spell your name.
Matthew, Mathew, Kearney, Kearney.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Have you previously been qualified as an expert by this division?
Yes.
In what field?
Geology.
Petroleum geology or just geology?
Petroleum geology.
All right. Thank you, sir. Mr. Fordyce?
Yes, Mr. Kearney, I'm looking at page 63 of the exhibits, which is exhibit D4 in this case.
Okay.
That's the gun barrel exhibit. So that's showing that there are 4 proposed wells in the Wolfcamp A and 2 proposed wells in the Wolfcamp D. It's my understanding that what is commonly referred to as the Wolfcamp D is probably the top of the Pennsylvanian system, comprised of Cisco and Canyon formations, which is not part of the Wolfcamp pool in this case. So was looking for some clarification on that.
Yes, those are, at least our terminology, those would still be Wolf Camp. They're above the Cisco Pennsylvanian, which would be Wolf Camp F or lower.
So the 300H and the 303H are not in the Pennsylvania system in the Cisco or the Canyon.
Correct.
They are part of the, you're claiming that they're part of the Wolfcamp as described in the order R14262 for this Purple Sage Wolfcamp pool.
Yes, sir.
If the division requested a supplemental exhibit whereby you could take some logs and compare that to the type log and the other logs used in the cross section for this order to accomplish demonstrating that it for sure is not part of the Pennsylvania system. Would you be able to supply that?
Yes, I can, probably not today, but I can work on that.
Okay, so that's what the division will be requesting today. A supplemental exhibit for this case, to demonstrate that these Wolfcamp D wells are indeed in the Wolfcamp pool and formation and not in the Pennsylvania system.
All right, thank you.
I have no further questions, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
All right. Mr. Suazo, it sounds like you need some time to get what Mr. Fordyce wants and to continue this case for further review.
Yes, I agree. I would defer to Mr. Kearney on how quickly he thinks he can put that supplemental exhibit together, and then maybe we can schedule it for a date later this month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's up, Mr. Kearney, what's a reasonable time frame for you?
Later this month should be fine. I'm thinking a couple of days.
All right. All right. Why don't we say, so Mr. Fordyce, you also need time to review whatever it is that Mr. Kearney submits. Do you think the 19th of March would work?
Yes, Mr. Hearing Examiner, I believe that'll work.
Mr. Kearney?
Yes, that's fine.
That's 2 weeks from now. Mr. Suazo?
That's fine.
Please include a cover letter.
We will do that.
All right. So we're off the record in this case. Thank you. All right. Moving now on to, let's do, I'm going to save 45 for last. Let's do Permian Resources here. This is 25948. Entries, please.
Jackie McLean on behalf of Permian Resources.
Thank you.
And EOG had entered an appearance. I know Ms. Kessler was on earlier, but I'm not sure if she still is.
I see a JK here.
I am sorry about that. The order was a little confusing to me. This is Jordan Kessler on behalf of EOG. Sorry for the delay. Just monitoring.
Yeah, we're jumping around, Ms. Kessler. Sorry about that. Okay, thank you. And you're just monitoring?
That's correct. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Kessler. All right. Ms. McLean.
Thank you. In this case, Permian Resources seeks an order pulling all uncommitted interest in the Wolf Camp formation underlying a 480-acre, more or less non-standard spacing unit comprised of the south half, north half of Section 7, Township 19 South, Range 28 East, and the south half, north half of Sections 11 and 12, Township 19 South, Range 27 East in Eddy County. And this unit will be dedicated to the Alpine Eagle 711 State Com 202H well. Exhibits were timely submitted for this case and include land and geology testimony and corresponding exhibits of Adam Rieker and Chris Rudelhuber, both of whom have previously testified before the division as experts in their respective fields. We also include our notice testimony along with copies of the notice letter, which was timely sent on February 11th. And the affidavit of publication from February 17th, 2026. And I understand that there are questions and we are happy to answer those.
Perfect. Your exhibits are admitted without exception. Mr. Fordyce, who do you have questions for in this case?
I will have questions for the landman and geologist, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
Perfect. Would you call them, Ms. McLean?
Yes, Mr. Adam Rieker and Chris Rudelhuber.
All right, thank you. Okay, would both gentlemen please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Let's start with you. You can put your hands down. Thank you. Mr. Recker, would you please spell your name?
It's Adam, A-D-A-M, Rieker, R-E-K-E-R.
All right, thank you. And Ms. McLean advised that you've previously been qualified by this division as an expert.
Yes, sir, in petroleum land matters.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Rudelhuber, would you say the same?
Chris, C-H-R-I-S, Reudelhuber, R-E-U-D-E-L-H-U-B-E-R.
And previously been admitted?
Petroleum geology.
Perfect, thank you. Mr. Fordyce?
Mr. Rieker, I'm looking at page 20 of the exhibits, which is the start of the well proposals for this case.
And I will share the.
Thank you.
So in the well proposals, it discusses in Township 19 South, Range 28 East, 8 wells that are proposed in all of section 7, 11, and 12. So there's 4 wells that are proposed in the Third Bone Springs and 4 wells that are proposed in the Wolf Camp. This case is for the 202H in the south half of the north half of those sections. There's also a 201H, I believe, in this well proposal that would be in the north half of this section. So I'm curious to ask why did Permian Resources feel the need to request a non-standard unit when in this gas pool it would have been easy to construct the same unit with 160-acre building blocks and propose those 2 wells in a standard unit?
Yes, sir. So we brought the Alpine Eagle 131H, 133H, and 134H, as well as the 202, because that is our plan. Sorry, on the December docket, we had to reapply with the NSPs associated with the 202. So we already have orders for the 131, 133, and 134H that are outlined in this well proposal. As part of the first drilling event, the asset team advised me that we wanted to do those 4 wells as part of the first drilling event. So that is what I brought forth for pooling in December and today. So we could have, you are correct, added the 201 and 202 and made it standard. That was not what I was advised was our plan according to our drill schedule and our timing. So I am conforming to what our management has outlined for the development plan for our phase 1 of the Alpine development.
Would your drilling schedule and development plan have kept you from proposing a standard unit just for this 202H?
Sorry, go ahead.
Let me just add, in your statement, on page 6, it says that Permian's requesting this NSP to avoid wasted resources, prevent waste, and protect correlative rights. But I'm not sure how it accomplishes that. And still struggling with the request for the NSP here.
Yeah, so I think from my perspective or my understanding, the building blocks for the gas pool that the 202H is in would be for us to stay 330 feet in the heel and toe and 660 in the perpendicular spacing line. We fully intend and want this well to make oil, so we wanted it to be closer to oil spacing. That would be the reason for the NSP. And then we have staggered, as I mentioned below, our wells accordingly, the 131, the 202, the 133, and the 134. We already have orders for 3 of the 4 of them in order to accomplish that. So that is the reason for the NSP. It's in a gas pool, so we are needing the NSP to basically make it closer to oil spacing or when we intend to make oil. And so it would pull in the entire 320-acre north half of those sections. We do not want to do that. We want to have it be on the 40 acres that it penetrates. 40-acre building blocks as opposed to 160s.
Okay, with that being said, now I'm looking at your C102 that was submitted on page 15. And just so that I understand and I can be clear on what your reasoning was, can you explain that one more time while we're looking at your proposed wellbore on this C102?
Explain. So we intend to, if I'm understanding the question correctly, we intend to drill 4 wells as part of our first event. 3 in the Third Bone Spring and 1 in the Wolf Camp formation. The north half will be a Bone Spring well. There will be 2 wells in the south half being Bone Spring wells. The one in between would be the south half, north half, what I'm seeking to pool today. And it is going to be in the Wolfcamp formation. That was what I was advised by our asset development team. As
So
such, it
Oh,
would
go
pull in
ahead.
the entire, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was interrupting. Please finish.
So because of the pool rules associated with the Wolfcamp, it would have pulled in the entire north half of these sections, and we would have had to stay within 330 and 660 setbacks. We don't want to do that in this case. We intend to drill this well, and we intend for it to make oil. So we wanted to drill it like it was in an oil pool and only pull in the 40s that it penetrates, being the south half of the north half of sections 11, 12, and 7.
The Bone Springs wells that you're discussing are above this, obviously, and in a different pool. So I'm not sure how that exactly leads to the conclusion that this has to be a Wolfcamp spacing unit in a gas pool constructed of 40-acre building blocks.
We were advised previously, whenever we attempted to pull this in December, that the Wolfcamp was a gas pool. Is that what you're asking? So
I'm asking, I guess, how do the Bone Springs wells impair you from constructing this Wolfcamp gas spacing unit in a standard way or a standard unit? Because if I hear that's what you're claiming.
Can I jump in just to clarify?
In just a moment, let's get the witness to finish the answer.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm I would say qualified. Maybe Chris has a thought on that as to, or the geology witness has a thought on that, but I don't know that I understand the question or yeah.
I guess what I'm hearing, Mr. Recker, is that because of the spacing units for the Bone Springs wells, you thought that it would be better to construct this spacing unit for a Wolfcamp gas pool with 40-acre spacing, or 40-acre building blocks, excuse me. But I'm not sure how one affects the other. You could have just constructed this Wolfcamp gas pool with the standard 160 acre blocks, and one wouldn't affect the other.
Okay.
Mr. Fordyce,
Mr.
Fordyce, are you finished asking questions to this witness, Mr. Reeker?
Yeah, I guess I am.
I mean, it sounds like you sound like you've come to a bit of an impasse in your mind. Ms. McLean, I know you're dying to say something.
Well, I think it could be really helpful.
Good. Go right ahead.
Everything. So we initially brought these cases, as Mr. Rieger said, in December, and these were all initially constructed as, north half, south half, north half, 4 separate spacing units in what Permian Resources believed to be oil pools, all with standard 40-acre spacing. At the hearing, Mr. McClure informed Permian Resources that the Wolfcamp was in fact a gas pool and asked us to come back to hearing to request a NSP because we needed a smaller spacing unit than what would be standard spacing for a gas pool. So it was because of Mr. McClure's direction that we are here today requesting the non-standard spacing unit because we sent out the well proposals for these 4 separate spacing units, thinking that they were standard. The Wolfcamp is in fact an oil pool. So under his direction, we filed requesting non-standard spacing so we could keep it in that 40-acre oil spacing.
All right. Mr. McClure, I'm sorry, Mr. McClure, Mr. Fordyce, if you want, we can take if you have questions for the geologist, I would suggest now is a good time for that. But also, do you want to take a few minutes afterward? We can go into recess after you question the geologist. You can speak to Mr. McClure if you have any questions about how he advised the party in December, if you think that would be helpful. If not, then we don't have to.
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I would say that, first of all, the discussion that we're having or just had now has probably eliminated the questions that I had forthcoming for the geologist.
Okay,
As the questions I had, for him have probably now been answered. And further, I would say that if, understanding what Ms. McLean has just said, if Mr. McClure had directed them to come back with this NSP, then I would say that I don't have any other questions about this case.
okay. So in other words, you finished your questions to the witnesses. You heard Ms. McLean and hopefully that was helpful. And you don't have anything further for this case. Is that right?
That is correct, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
So can we take this case under advisement?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. And you don't need anything else to be submitted?
No, sir.
Perfect, great.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Then we're off the record in this case. All right. So let me look at something here. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, I'm gonna call now Mewbourne Oil 25975. This is the line 47 case.
Mr. Examiner, Dana Hardy on behalf of Mewbourne.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner. Carrie Hatley entering her appearance on behalf of COG Operating, Concho Oil and Gas, and Marathon Oil Permian, and we're monitoring only.
Thank you, Ms. Hatley. Go right ahead, Ms. Hardy.
Thank you. In this case, Mewbourne seeks an order pooling uncommitted interest in the second Bone Spring interval underlying an 876.42 acre, more or less non-standard horizontal unit. And we are seeking approval of the non-standard unit in this application. You know what? I am sorry. I have a cold and I'm reading my wrong, incorrect summary.
You want to start over?
Yes, I do want to start over.
Go right ahead.
Let me go to the right case now. Okay, sorry about that. Mewbourne seeks an order pooling uncommitted interest in the Wolf Camp underlying a 480 acre, more or less standard horizontal spacing unit comprised of the north half of section 24 and the northeast quarter of section 23, township 23 south, range 26 east in Eddy County. We did timely submit our exhibits last week, and then we submitted a corrected version on Monday to provide an updated ownership exhibit. And our witnesses are Braxton Blanford as the landman who's previously testified as an expert in petroleum land matters, and geologist Tyler Hill, who has also previously testified and been recognized as an expert in geology matters. So unless there are questions, I would ask that the exhibits be admitted for this case and that it be taken under advisement. Thank you.
Admitted without exception. And Mr. Fordyce, which witnesses do you want to question here?
I have questions for the landman.
Perfect. Would you call your landman?
Yes, Mr. Blanford, please.
Good, perfect. And Mr. Blanford, I remind you that you're still under oath.
Yes, sir.
Go right ahead, Mr. Fordyce.
Mr. Blanford, if I could direct your attention to, let's start on page 13 of the exhibits, which is the C-102, first page of that form.
Okay.
So I just wanted to clear up some discrepancy actually with the well name. What you see on this C-102 that has an API number associated with it is the Iceman 2423 FedCom well, proposed number 712H. In many places in the exhibits, it's referred to as the Iceman 2422 property name. So just wanted to verify that it is one or the other. And apparently it looks like to me it would be the Iceman 2423.
It would be the Iceman 2423. The where you see the Iceman 2422 would be for our South half cases that are not being heard today.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Blanford. With that being cleared up, then for this case, I would just need to request some corrections to the application checklist beginning on page 4 of the exhibits. So obviously then we would need to correct the well family name to Iceman 2423 FedCom. And again, the well number 1 well name it would be incorrectly listed as Iceman 2422 rather than 23 in place of that 22.
Yes, we can get that submitted today, Mr. Examiner.
And as a side note, the orientation is east to west, I believe, not west to east. Since we're making corrections.
Okay, we can correct that as well.
And I had no further questions for this case, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
Perfect. So how long will it take for you to make those corrections?
We can do that this afternoon.
Perfect. So as long as you submit the corrected information today, we'll take the case under advisement.
Great, thank you very much.
All right. Now, we have one case left, but we're going to take a break before we hear it. This is case 25953. It is Mewbourne Oil. I don't believe there are any other cases on our docket that we have not addressed, but I'd like to hear from counsel. Ms. Hardy, are we missing anything?
I don't believe so.
Okay,
for
Ms. Bennett?
us.
No, thank you.
Ms. Vance?
No, but I did stay around because I wanted to ask the hearing something. That's why I'm.
Is it about your Oxy case?
No. It's just a general request. So I know that the division has made it a policy that when we file revised hearing packets, that you remove the previously filed. However, I would request that we not do that because I have had a couple of instances where I have gone back to try and refer to what was previously filed to confirm, information. And then also because Mr. McClure did note that just include the revision for that particular hearing packet. So it doesn't track any previously filed revised hearing packets. So I was going to ask if we could keep everything in the record.
So for the reason that we started doing the way we're doing it now is to not confuse the technical examiners. Now, generally, when you file an amended exhibit packet, you file a cover letter, so it says exactly what was changed. Just so you know, Freya has access to every document that's ever been submitted. And if you need an old document that's no longer in the record, you can always email Freya and she'll send it to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know.
But I understand now there are times where we ask for supplemental information and that's different than an amended checklist. So we're going to take a 5-minute break so that I can go and have a conversation offline. And we'll be back on the record in a few minutes. Thank you very much. Okay, it is 11:03 a.m. We're back on the record. I am going to recall case number 24983. Ms. Vance, what I understand now is that the division is willing to leave the record open until 5 p.m. on Friday to receive that supplemental letter.
It'll be a filing that we'll do the filing that is the request for the order to be terminated. And then we'll also do a revised hearing packet that lists the wells that will be included under this this particular case.
Perfect. And if you do those two things, this case will be taken under advisement at that time.
Perfect. Greatly appreciated.
Thanks for coming back.
Thank you.
We're off the record in that case. Let's go to our last case of the day. This is number 45 on our docket, 25953, Mewburn Oil. Entries, please.
Dana Hardy on behalf of Mewburn.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Examiner. Dina Bennett on behalf of Avant Operating 2 LLC, and I'm entering my appearance verbally, and I'll confirm with a filing later today. Not objecting, just monitoring.
Thank you. I believe EOG Resources also entered an appearance. Is that right, Ms. Hardy?
They did, yes.
Ms. Kessler, are you there? Okay. They didn't object, did they?
They did not.
No, I didn't think so. Go right ahead, Ms.
Okay, thank you. In this case, Mewburn seeks to pool uncommitted interest in the second Bone Spring interval underlying an 876.42 acre, more or less non-standard horizontal spacing unit comprised of the north half of section 19, township 18 south, range 30 east, the north half of section 24, township 18 south, range 29 east, and the northwest quarter and west half of the northeast quarter of section 23, township 18 south, range 29 east in Eddy County. Mewburn will dedicate the unit to the IOU 1923 FedCom wells. We are seeking approval of the non-standard spacing unit in accordance with the division's prior instructions on the initial version of this application that was previously heard. The proposed spacing unit includes a west area and an east area, which are separated by the east half of the northeast quarter of section 23. And that separating area will not be produced or penetrated by the wellbore, so it's not being pooled. We timely submitted exhibits for this case and have provided the land testimony and exhibits of Braxton Blanford, who's previously testified as an expert in land matters. We have provided geology testimony and exhibits of Charlie Crosby, who has previously testified as an expert in geology before the division. And we also have included reservoir engineering testimony and exhibits of Gavin Eddington, who has also previously testified as an expert in engineering matters before the division. And then we also provided our notice information, which shows that notice was timely sent by certified mail and was timely published. So I understand that there are questions, and I believe our three witnesses should be available to answer them.
Thank you, Ms. Hardy. The exhibits are admitted without exception. And let me find out, Mr. McClure, do you want to go first, or is it Mr. Fordyce is going first?
Mr. Hearing Examiner, I'm not sure if Dean is with us yet. I have one quick question for the landman, if you want to proceed with that.
Well, let's do that. I did see Mr. McClure just a few moments ago. So I don't know where maybe he's having technical trouble, but go right ahead, Mr. Fordyce. Let's get, are we going to have questions for more than just the landman, do you think?
I have a question only for the landman. I'm not sure if Mr. McClure has more.
Okay. Okay. And let's get the landman on. There you are. You're still under oath, Mr. Blanford. Go right ahead,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Fordyce.
Good morning, Mr. Blanford. Again, I just have a question. Given that these wells are drilled and cased, regarding should any issue arise in the future, perhaps there could be some suspicion of interwell communication between, Mewborn's well and EOG's well, or something should arise in the future, some problem. How does a Mewborn plan to ensure isolation in the non-completed interval in the future should any issues arise? How would Mewborn, or have you given any thought to how Mewborn would ensure isolation and in that non-completed interval, and how would a mechanical integrity test be performed?
I think that is a question better asked of our technical team, if I'm understanding the question correctly. If you're
Mr.
asking
Lanford,
about
well, I wasn't sure what all you had maybe been briefed on. I see that Mr. Eddington had supplied some exhibits. I don't know if Mr. Eddington is available to answer this question from the reservoir engineer perspective.
Yes.
I believe he should be available.
Then we need to get him sworn in.
Yes.
Good morning. Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Would you spell your name?
Gavin, Gavin, Eddington, Edington.
Have you been accepted as an expert by this division?
I have.
In what field?
Reservoir engineering.
Okay. Mr. Fordyce, do you want to direct your question to this gentleman?
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Eddington. Did you hear my question, or do you need me to repeat it?
If you could repeat it, that would be good.
Okay. So the question that the division has, given the fact that these wells are drilled and cased and cemented, has Mewborn given any thought, or do they have a plan, or has there been a discussion regarding should there be any issues in the future related to, perhaps there's a suspicion of some interwell communication or something of that nature? What would Mewborn's plan be to be able to ensure isolation in the non-completed portion of the wellbore, or how would Mewborn go about performing a mechanical integrity test? Has there been some discussion regarding that?
I'm not aware of any discussion of that nature, to my knowledge. But with the plan of how we plan to develop these wells by not perforating in that separated area or fracking in that area, then there should be minimal risk to both our well and the existing well from EOG.
But no, so just to clarify, so no thought or plan has been discussed should any problems arise or be detected. Is that fair to say?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Eddington. I don't have any further questions, Mr. Hearing Examiner. I don't know if Mr. McClure's ready.
I think he is. I see him there. Mr. McClure, which witnesses would you like to question?
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. I'll have questions for both the landman and reservoir engineer.
Do you want to ask them as a panel?
It doesn't matter to me. Well, let me take that back. I'd actually rather ask them one at a time. I think that's probably easiest.
Okay. Well, we have Mr. Eddington here on the screen. Do you want to start with him?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine, Mr. Hearing Examiner.
Go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Mr. Eddington, I'm looking at your exhibit, I believe it's yours on page 61 of 122. This looks like an exhibit C4. It's a breakout. Oh, yeah, there we go. I don't know if Ms. Hardy and Ms. McLean is sharing, but looks like we're on there. Do you see where we're referring to, Mr. Eddington?
I do.
Okay, so I'm looking at your breakout here, and it looks like, could you just briefly, I guess, very briefly, just walk me through what we're looking at here with the three different scenarios?
Yeah, if you turn to Exhibit C3 right before this, there's a visual breakdown of what those scenarios would look like as well. So the first being the proposed 3-mile laterals with the no perforation zone in the separating area, where we have a single surface pad from just outside section 19, and we drill 2 wells. And the second scenario would be where we stop those laterals short at the west line of section 24, and they would be 2-mile wells. And then alternatively, you could surface from section 23 and drill a U-turn well in the same zone and stay out of the separated area that's being considered here. And the last scenario 3, would be instead of a U-turn lateral, you were just to drill 2 straight laterals instead. And so if we return back to Exhibit C4, what I'm including in this comparison table here is the specifics of those 3 scenarios and the details of what are the required well pad sizes for surface use and tank battery facilities, stuff of that nature. The vertical section of pipe being, you have 2 well bores that you're drilling in scenario 1 down to the target interval. Scenario 2, you now have 3 well bores that you're adding a U-turn lateral in. And then scenario 3, you have 2 additional straight hole laterals. So that's where you see an increased vertical section of pipe footage from scenario 1 through scenarios 2 and 3. Completed lateral footage being how much total lateral between all wells that you could theoretically perforate by abiding by your pool rules and setbacks, including on either side of the separating area. And by that nature, how much anticipated reserves you could expect to recover from those 3 scenarios. And then a list of economics of how each one compares to one another as it pertains to the drilling and completion and additional pads and additional surface hole and vertical section pipe, all of that being considered into an economic comparison between all 3 scenarios.
Thank you, Mr. Eddington. I'm looking at, we got it up on the screen there. I'm looking like at your kind of table there where you have like the 3 development scenarios listed out. And I'm looking at the development PV15 column. Do you see what I'm referring to?
Yes.
What is that column, I guess, telling us here?
That's basically showing the potential economic outcome of each development that is being considered. when accounting for costs of, drilling and completing wells, and, using the anticipated production from those wells running, and over to the right of that is telling you, we're using internal cost structure for well costs and completions, and facilities. What we're using for our projected oil and gas prices for our future revenues, and assuming that we're 8/8, 100% working interest in the well, 75% NRI, and we total up our discounted future cash flows, and that's what's being shown in that development PV15 column.
Yeah, so essentially, just make sure I'm on the same page. Mewbourne is projecting with scenario 1 that it will turn a $12.8 million profit, whereas in scenario 2, 3.1 million, scenario 3, 0.3 million. Is that correct?
Essentially,
or am I misunderstanding?
That is the comparison. Yes, is what potential economic return each scenario presents.
And this isn't and if I understand what you were saying earlier, this isn't the overall profit for the project. This would be the profit that Mewbourne would realize. Is that correct?
No, that last bullet point in the commentary being that the economics are generated assuming 100% working interest and 75% NRI. That is gross. That is not net to Mewbourne.
Okay.
That is the total for all parties involved.
Okay, I see what you're pointing out, and this would assume 25% royalties. Is that where we're getting the 75%?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. So essentially, Mewbourne would be projecting additional $10 million, around about $10 million profit using scenario 1 versus scenario 2. Is that correct?
That's right.
Now, when you were computing the completed lateral footage for a scenario 2, where was the pause point and resumption point placed in that U-turn well?
Basically where the well transitions from a straight hole into the bend into the U.
Okay, now I'm looking at, the prior page, the page 60, where we have like this blue slashed region in scenario 2. Do you see where I'm referring to, Mr. Eddington?
Right.
What is the, I guess, the width of that blue slashed area?
I don't have that in front of me right this second, but I believe it's a little over 700-ish foot.
And is the blue slashed area the area that doesn't have completions in it? Is that correct?
That's what's being represented.
But you think it's over 700 foot rather than maybe 330 feet or something like that?
I mean, it's tough to tell what the exact scale is there, but
No.
Based on Mewbourne has not drilled a U-turn well in its history, but based on available data of operators who have, and what they put on their plats, I think it was estimated that it's approximately from the apex of the U bend to where the well transitions to being straight hole again is somewhere north of 700 feet.
And and with that in mind, I guess I do see, and the apex, does it go right up against like the quote unquote separating area? Is that where that apex is hitting?
Yeah, here in this scenario, yes. So that the well would not penetrate into the separated area.
Okay, I guess, are you aware that general operating procedures with a U-turn well would be to complete up until, I don't know what the math is, but like 250 feet, something like that, from your boundary, rather than at that 770 feet?
I don't know the general operating procedure as Mewburn has not performed this in its history, but in either case, even if it happened to be a lesser footage, it still would be like total completed lateral would still be lesser on the U-turn than either of the other two scenarios. Even if it were, 250 or whatever footage that you pointed out, that's still uncompleted lateral that, you wouldn't necessarily have to do on either of the other two cases.
And also, just to provide a bit more context, when I was just throwing out like that 250 number, I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Essentially, what the operators will do is they'll just measure 350 feet from perpendicular to the tangent of the well bore, which it's less than 300 feet, but it's I don't know. I'm sure it depends upon exactly how much of a U there actually is in the well as to that exact measurement.
Right.
I guess, would it be accurate to say that your completed lateral in your developmental scenario 2 would be greater than what you have depicted here, though?
Potentially. I don't know that it's Mewburn's viewpoint that we would complete in the bend of the U if we were to drill one. And so I wouldn't say for sure whether I agree with that.
Do you believe that Mewbourne would leave lateral in the hole that it could otherwise complete and just decide not to?
No, I think we would complete everything that we viewed as with respect to risk of completing in the bend of a U and what that does to your mechanical integrity of your pipe. I think that we would likely prefer not to complete in the U to not potentially raise any issues in that regard. And therefore, the completed lateral that I laid out would remain the same.
Well, Mr. Eddington, earlier you stated that Mewbourne hasn't drilled any U-turn wells. Is that correct?
That's right.
I guess if you were to research it and find out that all the other operators in the state of New Mexico are completing within the curve, would Mewbourne not consider it, I guess?
I would say that it would be under consideration. I'm saying that I don't believe that Mewbourne would elect to perforate in any portion of the bend of the U portion of the lateral.
I apologize, sir. I'm not sure. Did you say you don't believe or you don't know? I'm sorry.
Like we've had limited discussions on drilling U-turns in general, so I don't know that we have decided one way or another what we would do, but I do have a feeling that the way we currently lean is that we would not complete in that portion of the U.
In the scenario 2 and the scenario 3, both of these wells would be, or in both of these scenarios, you'd have a single pad on the west side of the project area. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is there an existing pad there that you would be building off of, or would you be creating a new pad?
I think these would require creating a new pad.
As far as facilities, is there a central tank battery or something right there that Mewborn would tie into, or would it be a new construction required?
It would be a new construction for those.
Okay, so in your cost analysis, in scenario 2 and scenario 3, you're essentially building in like the cost of like 2 separate facilities, 2 separate pads. Is that correct?
That is correct for those 2 scenarios, yes.
Do we have a breakout for like the cost associated with the facility versus the cost associated with drilling, completing the wells?
Yes, I believe on point 12 in my testimony, I detailed that depending on which scenario is being considered and how many wells we'll need to build a battery for, it could cost anywhere from basically $1.5 million to $2.5 million for per well for a battery.
Could you, my apologies, Mr. Anderson, could you break out, I guess, what we're looking at here? Is this like per well cost? Is that what you were saying and what you have here in your paragraph 12?
Yeah, it's a per well cost. So scenario 2 would be a single well, having no associated wells that you're sharing cost in, building a new battery and flow lines and right away. You could be somewhere around $2.5 million, whereas per well. Whereas if you were to have multiple wells, like scenario 3 would be 2 wells in the west area. That would be, about 1.6 million per well, which then if you go another sentence down, that correlates to 3.2 million in savings on the 2 well case versus $2.5 million in savings on the single U well scenario.
Okay, so in scenario 1, your facility costs would be approximately like 2.53 million. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's probably close to accurate. And then this particular point is additional potential cost from developing the west area with a different pad and different surface facilities and all of the associated.
And you would still have, let's just call it approximately 3 million for the east side. But in addition to that, with the U-turn, you would have how much approximately for a facility in that scenario?
About 2.5 million.
Okay, now in scenario 3, would that also be the 2.5, 3 million, or what are you looking in scenario 3 for facility costs?
Closer to 3.
Okay, but in the single well with the U-turn, it would be towards your upper end that you have there, that 2.5. Is that correct?
Right, per well, correct, yes.
Is this is the facility costs, do they constitute the majority of the additional costs, or is there much in consideration for having to drill the additional vertical?
There's more, definitely more consideration on drilling the vertical portion of those wells.
So it was more cost associated with that than there is in the facilities. Is that correct?
Yeah, all of the total cost, all in facilities, drilling, all of that goes into the economic comparison table where you see a difference of a round number $10 million between scenarios 1 and 2, and further cost degradation and moving into scenario 3. All in total, that's the majority of what's showing up in the development PB 15 difference there.
Now, do you have the additional cost associated with drilling listed anywhere, or is there only reference to like back end it back out of your profit here?
I don't believe I included the specifics of the additional drilling costs there.
Okay, but you believe the difference is greater than the 3 million costs associated with like additional facility? Let me ask my question, I guess.
If I understood, yeah.
Yeah. Approximately, what is the magnitude of cost that is associated with drilling the additional vertical well bores?
Probably need to calculate the specifics of that on its own. I'm more familiar with total drilling costs, which would include the lateral portion and whatnot. So I don't think I have that number handy off the top of my head.
Well, your drilling costs, I mean, but do you have your drilling costs listed out here? Because that'd be perfectly fine rather than considering the vertical. I just don't know if you have that listed anywhere.
I don't think it's listed in these exhibits, no.
Okay, not saying that I'm going to ask for, but if I were to, would you understand? If I were to ask for the drilling cost broke out, would you understand what I'm asking for?
I guess to clarify, are you asking because like is the U or the 2 straight hole sections of lateral? Are you asking about what the cost of those would entail in addition to the cost of the vertical section?
Well, the more I think about it, I think just the drilling overall would get me what I need. Because looking at your table here on, oh yeah, like we still have on the screen, like you have like the vertical section pipe footage listed out there.
Yeah.
Does this take into account? I'm guessing it doesn't. Does it take into account like that U-turn where you're not completed?
It does. All of that stuff is being considered here.
Okay, but does this
that it's taken into account by the total of the completed lateral footage, and the U-turn case being a lesser number, thereby 1,200, 1,300-ish foot than the case scenario 1 or 3.
Yeah, but is your second column, is that purely the vertical, or does that include your like a U-turn?
That's just the total footage of casing that would be required to get down to the target interval.
So it is the vertical then, like exactly how it's depicted, correct?
Right.
Okay. I guess back to the point at hand, I guess overall drilling costs for each of the scenarios, including the completed lateral and the uncompleted lateral. Would you understand what I'm asking for by that?
I would. I have, come up with all of those estimates. And I ran my economics with those. So
Okay, so then your answer is yes, you would I'm not saying I'm going to, I'm just, you would understand what I'm asking for if I were to. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Mr. Eddington, thank you. I don't think I have any further questions for you. Mr. Hearing Examiner, I think I'm ready for the landman.
Okay. And Mr. Blandford, I remind you that you're still under oath.
Sir.
Go right ahead, Mr. McClure.
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Mr. Blandford, real quick question off the bat. I'm looking at your page 40 of 122. I think I have your area of contacts. Yes, I do. That's what we're looking at. You see, it looks like we have it on the screen there. Do you see where I'm referring to, Mr. Blandford?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and specifically, I'm looking at your bullet point number 2 for 7th month, 25th day, 2024, where it talks about joint development agreement between Mubo and ELG.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it says here that this agreement was executed on the 7/25, but it's effective July 15, 2024. Is that just confirming I'm understanding this correctly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the joint development agreement, that is different than a joint operating agreement. How?
It's called a joint development agreement. In this case, it's a farm out agreement that we did with EOG.
Okay, it essentially is the same authorities granted, the same stipulations as a standard JOA, is that correct?
I'm sorry, ask that again.
Okay, would it be accurate to consider the joint development agreement the same way as a joint operating agreement?
No. I mean, because the joint development agreement is the farm out agreement that we worked with EOG, and they later executed a JOA that we agreed to mutually.
So what does the joint development agreement, I guess, allow Mewborn to do here?
To go and drill these wells and earn greater interest in the unit.
Okay, so essentially, this would be EOG signing on to or agreeing to Mewborn's development plan. Would that be accurate to say?
Yeah, I would say that's accurate.
Okay, but it's not until they sign a JOA that they would be committed to the unit, though. Is that accurate to say?
That would be accurate. And they have signed the JOA, but yes, that would be accurate.
Yeah, I was going to say on the commitment table, I think you had it listed. Do you have that as a bullet point here when they actually signed your JOA? Because I'm not sure as I was seeing that one.
I don't believe that I have the date they signed the JOA on there.
Would it be take place before or after all these, like where you have like email correspondence with ELG regarding well proposal and working interest owner? Is it like after all of these or like before that? do you think?
I don't recall exactly when they signed the joint operating agreement. It would have been sometime thereafter when we proposed the wells. I think that was in August of 2025. And at that point, they actually executed our joint operating agreement.
Now, it looks like you mailed it on August 18th, 2025. Does that look correct?
That looks correct.
Yeah, so clearly some point after that then.
Mm-hmm.
You think it was in 2025 rather than like
I do.
2026, for instance, I guess?
I do.
Okay, you think it was, well, I guess let me back up. I guess changing topics, can you just briefly describe for me the reason that Mewbourne's requesting this NSP?
The NSP is being requested because of the separated area, as the OCDs defined it, and that we're not going to perforate the east half northeast of section 23 because of EOG's existing Terlingua well. And with that well being within the same bench of the Bone Spring Formation.
Well, I guess not to completely derail you, but let me re-ask my question in maybe a better way. Is it accurate to say that the reason Mewbourne is requesting an NSP is to be able to use a common facility for the entirety of the proposed unit?
I would say that is a part of the reason.
That's a part of the reason. I mean, I guess I apologize for cutting you off on your last answer. If you could elaborate on what the other reason is, I guess.
Well, I mean, I think Mr. Eddington outlined a lot of the economic reasons and things of that nature, and why we believe that this is the preferred and optimal development plan. But with the as far as the NSP, my understanding is that when there is a non-contiguous tract such as the east half northeast of 23 not being included in our spacing unit, an NSP is required by the OCD.
Okay, I guess would it be accurate to say that the reason Mewbourne's asking for the NSP is for be able to use common facilities, a common facility across this entire area, in addition to economic savings due to the development plan and the well positioning and such?
Yes.
If I can draw your attention to page 17 of 122, this is like a plat showing the NSP affected tracts. Do you see where we're at, Mr. Blanford?
I do.
Okay, now I notice on the next page down, you have like a list of affected offset operators. Do you see where I'm referring to?
Yes, sir.
And like the first one listed there is Mewbourne Oil Company, and then there's like a number of different legal descriptions below that. Do you see where I'm referring to?
Yes, sir.
For these areas, who are the working interest owners? Is that listed anywhere here?
For each of the for each of these legal descriptions.
Let me re-ask my question. For each of these areas depicted by these legal descriptions in the bullet points below Mewborn there, do you list out the working interest owners anywhere?
Some of them would be likely included on this, but I've not included. I would assume that I've probably not included each one of them.
Okay, down below, like, oh, go ahead, sir. I'm sorry. I thought you were finished up your
Just
answer.
just within these various Mewburn developments, I'm not the landman over each one of these developments, so I'm unsure on the answer to that question.
Where you have like listed just where you have underlined affected record title owners. Do you see where I have that referred to?
I do.
Are these actually record title owners, or is there a typo and this is working interest owners?
These would be the record title owners.
Okay, in the affected tracts that Mewborn considered for its evaluation here, this separating area that you have depicted on page 17, do you see what I'm referring to?
Yes.
Was the ownership of that considered when you were putting together consideration for NSP notice?
Yes.
And is that that one's operated by EOG, correct?
That's accurate.
And it looked like EOG was provided notice of this application, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. But just to confirm one more time, you don't know if the working interest owners in the surrounding tracts was provided notice.
I'm not 100% sure if in every one of the surrounding tracks, if we got every single working interest owner. As to the separated area, I am 100% sure that all working interest owners were notified.
Okay, I guess if I were to ask Mewborn to provide me with a list of the working interest owners for each of these tracks that Mewborn is the operator for, do you understand what I'd be asking for?
Just a list of the working interest owners in those tracks.
Yes, that is correct.
Yes, I would understand what you're asking for.
Now, if I recall correctly, actually, I'm looking at it right now. Is it correct to say that Mewborn owns approximately 48% of the working interest across the proposed unit?
I believe that's correct. I'm not looking at the ownership exhibit right now, but that sounds about right.
I believe it's on page 29 of 122, if we want to look. You see what I'm referring to, Mr. Blandford?
I do.
Would it be accurate to say that Mewborn owns approximately 48% of the working interest across this proposed unit?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Blandford. Mr. Hearing Examiner, I don't have any more questions for the expert witnesses, but I do have some questions about notice for, I don't know if it's Ms. Hardy or Ms. McLean or who I need to ask on that.
It's Miss Hardy, and go right ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Ms. Hardy, do you know what notice was provided for the NSP in this case?
Yes, if you look at our Exhibit C, that lists the parties who were noticed. And we have a notice letter for the NSP and then the notice of the pooling application. And And then our list is shown starting at page 66 of the PDF.
Now, your expert witness didn't seem to know for sure, so I'm assuming you may not, but I'll ask you in case you do. Do you know if the working interest owners in those offsetting tracks which Mewborn operated were provided notice of this case?
I don't, Mr. McClure. I would need to find that out, work on that with Mr. Blanford.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hardy. Mr. Hearing Examiner, I personally don't have anything further for this case.
How do you want to proceed?
Were we going to maybe touch base?
Oh, that's right. Yes. Okay, let's take a 5-minute break. This will be the last 5-minute break we take for the day. And we're going to discuss the case and come back and let you know how we're going to proceed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, it is 12:09. I'm sure everyone wants to go to lunch. We have finished our conference between the technical team and myself. And Mr. McClure, do you want to let the applicant know how you want to proceed?
Yes, I can, Mr. Hearing Examiner. Ms. Hardy, if we can go ahead and conduct research as to the working interest owners in each of those offsetting tracks. And then if notice is not correct, if we can go ahead and get that notice cured. Do you understand what I'm asking for?
I do. And Mr. McClure, we can do that quickly. We confirmed that we did provide notice to working interest in offset tracks, but Mr. Blanford would like to confirm that we got all of them, so he can do that by tomorrow afternoon, close of business, and then we can determine whether we